Lionel Messi spends nearly an entire football match walking. If you didn't know who he was, you'd probably think he wasn't trying hard enough. But while everyone else is chasing the ball, Messi is quietly studying the game. Then, in a single moment,
Pulled back here, let's see, run, Messi!
he changes everything.
Back to Messi. Messi!
So why does the greatest player of his generation spend so much time walking? The answer isn't what most fans think, and once you see it, you'll never watch Messi the same way again. Number 1. The world's smartest walker. Why Messi barely runs. If you've ever watched Lionel Messi for an entire match, you've probably noticed something unusual. While other players are constantly sprinting, pressing, and chasing the ball, Messi often looks like he's doing the exact opposite. He strolls across the pitch, sometimes for minutes at a time, barely touching the ball. To the average fan, it can even seem as though he's switched off. But that's exactly where the illusion begins. Most people watch football by following the ball. Messi watches everything except the ball. As he walks, his head is constantly turning. Every glance is gathering information. He's studying the positions of defenders, tracking his teammates' runs, spotting spaces before they appear, and identifying which opponents are beginning to lose focus. While 21 other players are reacting to the game, Messi is quietly reading it several moves ahead. This habit is known as scanning, and it's one of the most important yet overlooked skills in modern football. Elite midfielders and playmakers do it before receiving the ball, so they already know what to do with it. Messi simply takes that idea to another level. He scans long before the ball reaches him, building a mental map of the entire pitch. By the time the pass arrives, he has already considered multiple options. Walking makes that possible. When a player is sprinting from one end of the field to the other, much of their attention is spent on the physical effort. But by moving calmly and deliberately, Messi frees his mind to observe every small detail unfolding around him. He isn't conserving energy because he's tired. He's conserving his attention for the moments that matter most. That's why his greatest plays often seem impossible to explain. A defender takes one careless step. A passing lane opens for less than a second. A teammate begins a run no one else has noticed. Before anyone in the stadium realizes what's happening, Messi has already acted. To us, it looks like instinct. To Messi, it's the result of minutes spent collecting information while everyone else was chasing the ball. The next time you watch one of his matches, try something different. Forget the ball for a moment and watch Messi instead. Notice how often he turns his head, how patiently he waits, and how rarely he moves without a reason. You'll quickly realize that those quiet walks aren't moments of inactivity. They're moments of preparation, and that preparation is exactly what makes him so dangerous. Because while everyone else thinks Messi is resting, he's already planning the move that could decide the match. Number 2. The invisible trap. How walking manipulates defenders. If walking helps Messi understand the game, it also does something just as important. It changes the way defenders think. Football defenders are trained to react to danger. When an attacker is constantly sprinting, making sharp runs, and demanding the ball, defenders stay alert. Their focus is locked in because they know the threat is immediate. Messi does the opposite. By walking for long stretches, he creates the illusion that nothing is about to happen. Defenders naturally begin paying more attention to the ball than to him. Some relax their positioning. Others drift toward another attacker. A midfielder may stop tracking him for just a second, assuming someone else has taken over. It only takes one of those tiny lapses for Messi to strike. That is the invisible trap. Messi isn't disappearing from the game. He's disappearing from the defender's mind. This is one of the reasons he often seems to appear out of nowhere. In reality, he was there all along. The defenders simply stopped treating him as the biggest threat. Then, the moment the space opens, he explodes into it. Think about some of the greatest goals and assists of his career. So often, just seconds before receiving the ball, Messi appears to be doing almost nothing. He's walking near the edge of the action, watching patiently as defenders shift their shape. Then a centre-back steps too far forward. A full-back glances at the winger instead. A midfielder turns his head for a split second. That's all Messi needs. Unlike many attackers who force opportunities with constant movement, Messi waits for the defense to make the first mistake. Instead of fighting against the defensive structure, he lets it slowly break itself apart. Every unnecessary step a defender takes, every moment of lost concentration, and every gap that opens becomes another opportunity he has already predicted. His acceleration makes this even more devastating. Because he spends so much time walking, defenders often struggle to react when he suddenly changes pace. One moment he's standing almost still. The next, he's gliding past two players before they even realize he's moving. It isn't just his speed that catches them off guard, it's the contrast between complete calm and sudden explosion. Perhaps that's why so many defenders have described playing against Messi as mentally exhausting. They can't switch off because they know that even when he isn't touching the ball, he's still influencing the game. Yet staying focused on him for 90 minutes is almost impossible. Human concentration naturally fades, and Messi has built his entire style around exploiting those brief moments when it does. So while fans see a player who spends much of the match walking, defenders see something entirely different. They see a constant puzzle, one that never stops asking questions, even when it appears perfectly still. Messi's greatest trick isn't beating defenders with the ball, it's convincing them, if only for a second, that they don't need to worry about him. And by the time they realize they were wrong, the game has already changed. Number 3. Every sprint has a purpose. The science of Messi's energy management. Watching Messi can feel almost confusing. For long periods, he barely runs. Then, without warning, he bursts into life with a sprint that changes the entire match. It isn't random, it's calculated. Unlike many players who spend 90 minutes running at high intensity, Messi is incredibly selective about when he uses his energy. Every sprint has a purpose. If there isn't a clear advantage to gain, he simply won't make the run. Sports scientists have long shown that football isn't won by the player who covers the greatest distance. It's often decided by short, explosive actions, quick accelerations, sharp changes of direction, and decisive movements in the final third. Messi understands this better than almost anyone. Instead of wasting energy on runs that lead nowhere, he saves it for the moments that truly matter. That means when a defender is tiring, when a gap suddenly appears, or when a teammate spots the perfect passing lane, Messi still has the explosive power to attack with full intensity. This approach has become even more important as he's grown older. In his early years at Barcelona, Messi relied heavily on his breathtaking speed to beat defenders. He could outrun almost anyone over short distances. But as the years passed, he adapted his game. Rather than trying to win every physical battle, he became even more efficient with his movement. He began choosing his moments more carefully, proving that intelligence can often outperform endless running. It's one of the reasons he's remained effective well into his 30s, while many players see their influence decline. As physical attributes naturally change with age, decision-making becomes even more valuable. Messi didn't fight that reality. He embraced it. His teammates have often understood this instinctively. They know that if Messi isn't sprinting, it doesn't mean he's out of the game. It usually means he's waiting for the exact moment when his movement will have the greatest impact. Instead of forcing the play, they trust that he'll arrive precisely where he's needed. This is also where comparisons with other football legends become interesting. Cristiano Ronaldo has often overwhelmed defenders with relentless movement, powerful runs, and incredible athleticism. Messi, on the other hand, has usually relied on timing over volume. Neither approach is inherently better. They're simply different paths to greatness. Ronaldo attacks with constant intensity, while Messi often lets the game come to him before striking with precision. That difference explains why Messi's highlights can seem almost effortless. What looks like a simple burst of speed is actually the result of several minutes of patience, observation, and energy conservation. By refusing to sprint unnecessarily, he ensures that when the decisive decisive moment arrives, his body is ready to respond instantly. In football, the most important run isn't always the longest one. It's the one that comes at exactly the right time. And few players in history have mastered that better than Lionel Messi. Number 4. The genius no one can copy. Why walking isn't the secret. Football IQ is.
Es uno de los referentes mundial con 19 años, tiene toda la carrera por delante, tiene una gran oportunidad de conseguir algo.
By now, it might sound as though the secret to playing like Messi is simple. Just walk more. But that's exactly the wrong conclusion. The truth is, plenty of players walk during matches. The difference is that almost none of them can do what Messi does next. Walking itself isn't a skill. It's what Messi does while walking that makes him extraordinary. Every slow step is backed by years of experience, incredible vision, and a football brain that processes the game at an astonishing speed. Long before the ball reaches his feet, he's already predicted where defenders will move, where space will appear, and what his teammates are about to do. By the time everyone else reacts, Messi has already made his decision. That's why copying his movement without copying his mindset simply doesn't work. A player can stroll around the pitch for 90 minutes and still have no influence on the game. Messi walks with purpose. Every movement is deliberate, every pause has a reason, and every change of pace is timed to perfection. Former teammates have often spoken about how differently Messi sees football. Xavi once described football as a game of space and time, and no player has embodied that idea better than Messi. He doesn't just play in space, he creates it. He doesn't just use time, he controls it. That's what separates great players from legendary ones. Most footballers react to the match as it unfolds. Messi often seems to know what's about to happen before it happens. His first touch, passing, balance, close control, and decision-making allow him to turn that knowledge into moments that leave defenders helpless. The walking is only the surface. The real weapon is everything happening inside his mind. Perhaps that's why so many coaches, analysts, and former players describe Messi as a football genius rather than simply a gifted athlete. His brilliance isn't measured by how many kilometers he runs or how often he sprints. It's measured by how consistently he makes the right decision at exactly the right moment. So the next time you watch Lionel Messi, resist the urge to judge him by his movement alone. Don't focus only on the ball. Watch where he looks. Watch how often he scans the pitch. Watch how patiently he waits before making his move. You'll begin to notice something remarkable. The player who appears to be doing the least is often controlling the game the most. Messi doesn't walk because he's avoiding football. He walks because he understands it better than almost anyone who has ever played it. And once you see that, you'll never watch Lionel Messi the same way again. Messi's greatest weapon was never just his dribbling, speed, or finishing. It was his ability to see the game differently. So the next time you watch him walk across the pitch, remember, he isn't switching off. He's staying one step ahead. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more football stories and tactical deep dives. Thanks for watching.